Deb Helfrich on November 10th, 2020. Yeah, that's the date, boy. It's hard these days. We have an entirely different relationship to time, do we not, since coronavirus? This is an important thing that as a philosopher, I'll sometime get around to doing a monologue about. Socratic monologues are my deal. Hashtag redheaded She-Hulk. Here's a couple more answers to a really important discussion I'm having. I say, no human can be experiencing oppression and fighting against it at the same time, without serious consequences to their own well-being. The start of the question was, deep thoughts. This joins philosophy with the science and art of healing. That was from another commentator. So, of course, as the globe's original well-being philosopher, hashtag well-being philosophy, I really know that we cannot solve civilization level upheaval without people leaning in to their own well-being and health. This is so crucial, y'all. I mean, it's incredibly crucial. There's no lickety-split answers. There is no facile way to change every aspect of an inhumane civilization. We've got to lean in to optimizing human health so that we can all think clearly, critically, and creatively in our own spheres of influence, in our daily lives, in our careers, industries. But we have to think broadly and globally, ancestrally, evolutionarily. We've got to be able to think at a much more complex level than we ever have before. Insanity is doing the same thing, expecting a different result. Employing the stinking thinking that got us here is not the solution. Reach out to me, www.insightsoccur, to schedule a strategic consultation, to book workshops, and all that stuff. I go back to the comment. No human can be experiencing oppression and fighting against it at the same time without serious consequences to their own well-being. There is an impactful truth when the statement is issued that it is white people's responsibility to alter our beliefs, behaviors, and actions. We have to unhinge the pervasive view of the delusion of white superiority in order to set a more humane stage where Black people who choose to participate in all the dimensions of civilization upheaval can be guaranteed a basic level of respect and dignity as they go about the work. Black people are, without exception, experiencing CTSD, current trauma stress disorder. My serious concern is that the vast majority of white people stomp around, newly woken, without a shred of understanding that the absolute first concern must be show understanding, respect, and love to Black people. If every white person simply saw that, we could all band together to fight elitist capitalism and privileged democracy that keep all of us not motivated by world domination, as in paycheck servants, with no time to think clearly and critically and creatively. Which is the reason to be, the reason we exist as a species. We evolved to be the life-centric stewards of Earth. Now, in all of that goodness, the person objected to the fact that I used the word basic and that I should have said highest level of respect. So let me just get into context here. I am using basic to mean fundamental and essential. Oops, I altered that sentence. I am using basic to mean fundamental and essential, as I always run into the 250 character limit when using complex philosophical reasoning. By bringing in the term highest, you are understandably employing one of the most intractable blind spots of the delusion of white superiority, because this concept is entirely about ranking humans. We, the citizens of the US of Hypocrisy, excel at judging first and only accepting people if they rank above our own arbitrary societal and personal levels of achievement, or they possess certain superficial qualities like pale skin or sexiness or ostensibly displaying wealth, ostentatiously displaying wealth. There's also the term in the previous comment, the very gender term, hero. It's not in any way a judgment, just another example of the ways the legacy of colonialization ranks humans. My own hashtag redheaded She-Hulk, one woman improv exists to use fiercely loving rage to create an equitable civilization for all, including all non-Black humans who get lumped into POC the second they don't measure up in the slightest way. In an equitable civilization, respect of all others is the most basic currency of a human in full possession of their own humanity. Black humans excel at this capacity in ways that defy the dehumanization they have been forced to endure. That's it. That's all. Judgment is about ranking humans. It's about deciding which humans have the capacity to earn a living in a world built where everyone must earn money. We do not have any possibility for somebody who suffers from chronic diseases to tap out for a little bit, to focus on their own healing. Because as soon as somebody does that, and they really achieve it like I've done, they want to share. Figuring out how to heal from chronic disease. I'm not talking about acute problems. Western medicine is great at acute medical issues. It absolutely sucks at chronic conditions. That is because there is a blind spot, a huge blind spot, a blind spot that filters in to all of the myths that colonialization spread across every nook and cranny of our global human civilization, apart from the very few remaining hunter and gatherer tribes. Even very remote people who are part of agriculture are going to have, in some way, shape, or form, interacted with white colonialists. Five nations, essentially. UK, France, Spain, Portugal, and the Netherlands took their ocean sailing ships everywhere they could get to, spread Christianity and a white Jesus. This is the problem. A very, very small sliver of humanity decided they were elite. The time when they decided this coincided with, again, ocean sailing ships, weaponry, and then weaponry of mass destruction, and then the printing press. Those mid-1400s are essentially the framework we need to pull this all back together. Henry the Navigator in Portugal, Gutenberg in Germany, writing things down in a book at the printing press is when law and order became entirely white. You put it in a book, you carry the book around, you point to the book and say, this is law. See, it's written down. That makes it a law. And you have the weapons to prove it, and you're using English. You refuse to learn anything about any aspect of the impressive civilizations that you're destroying. It was a heinous, 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 heinous start to this phase of human development, when we got really smart in mechanical ways and started building all sorts of machines. But very quickly, that success meant we started treating humans as assembly line workers, machines that could work 40 hours a week, every week they're alive, putting money in some industrialist pocket, into some elite corporation, GL accounts. Human life force is much more valuable than any of us currently see, and that's why I exist. Thank you very much for your time.